Hey there! Today we're going to discuss the Pokémon Movie SteelBook collection on Blu-ray. After almost 6 years of being out of print, the first 3 movies are finally available again. And to commemorate the 20th anniversary, it's an unlimited SteelBook. I got this at Best Buy, and as you can see right here, anyway, this collection includes Pokémon, the first movie, with Mewtwo, who was blocked by the stickers, Pokémon the movie 2000, with Lugia, and Pokémon 3, the movie, with Entei and the Unknown. Now, about the front of the case, personally, I don't like how they redesigned the logos. Obviously, they put the Pokemon logos there, but the first movie, it just has the first movie caption enlarged, which no big deal. But the other two have their other logo elements rearranged. Like the movie 2000, that's separated from the Pokemon logo, and the Pokemon 3 logo is completely rearranged. And honestly, like that, I don't like. I'm not too happy about how they did that. Here's the spine. I like how they made it so that each one would have its own separate color, like to designate each one. The first movie is purple, 2000 is blue, and 3 is red. Here's the back of the case with descriptions for each film. It says it's in 16:9 widescreen, woohoo! And that it's in stereo 2.0 audio. Boo! Not really, but it is published by Viz Media and distributed by Warner Home Video, who coincidentally also distributed these films in theaters. They have since lost the rights, which explains why they've been out of print for so long. Personally, I feel that this is just sort of coming full circle. Honestly, I've been really impatient. I've been waiting until I've had the chance to do this video to open up the case, and now I'm finally gonna do that! Having trouble opening it. Alright, we're getting there. And now, hooray, progress. Hooray, it's open! Well, now it's open! Alright. We have an ad for the Pokemon manga, also produced by Viz Media, and for Pokemon Super Stories, which are digital books that are distributed on iTunes, that are basically adaptations of a few of the movies, specifically Mewtwo Strikes Back and the 2 most recent ones for Kalos. But enough about that, here are the discs. Each one has very simple artwork, just the Pokemon and the logo over the background with the solid colors, just designating that's their movie. Here's the first movie, and 2000, and the third movie. It wasn't that easy to remove the discs, and honestly I didn't want to, for the sake of keeping them well preserved, but I did, and I'm able to show you the back. Well, the inside. It's just a little pattern. I think that's basically the same as the waves from the beginning of 2000. And in the corner, look, there's Pikachu! And I don't think you can tell, but the embossing of the 3 legendaries that appear in the movies, you could see that from inside. That was just a basic look at the packaging. I'm gonna put the movies in and see how they look and sound. Though to be honest, I'm not as crazy about sound as I am about the video, so if I don't get all upset about the sound, now you know why. I mean, yeah, it's not on the same channels as the original versions were, and I'll get to that later, but yeah, just so you know.
3 movies later.
Okay. I've watched all 3 movies, and I've taken notes on each disc and its contents. To start off, no bonus features, but everybody already knew that. The menus are very bare bones, and the only options on them are play movie and the scenes. Each one plays clips from its respective film, and then it pauses on a still image of the main Pokemon. Basically the same images on the case over there. The video quality on each one looks pretty good. The sources of each film, varies, but I'll get into that later with each one separately. Like I said before, I'm not really crazy about audio, but all 3 of them sounded fine. There weren't any subtitles, and honestly that pissed me off. I would have liked subtitles. Come on, man. None of the movies started off with any logos. There weren't any Kids WB logos, no Nintendo, no 4Kids. But that makes sense since, well, they don't own Warner Brothers doesn't own the movies anymore. And the only company of those three that do get acknowledged at all, like, is Nintendo, since, well, they technically own the Pokemon franchise. And like I said, with no bonus features, comes no Pikachu shorts. No, so that's right. No Pikachu's Vacation, no Pikachu's Rescue Adventure, and no Pikachu and Pichu. In their defense, they probably couldn't get the rights to the shorts, the same way they couldn't get the rights to the other bonus features as well. And the third short, Pikachu and Pichu, is banned in Japan right now. I'll give a link in the description that explains why. But I don't know if that ban is really worldwide or Japan exclusive. On to the first movie. It's divided up into 16 chapters. With no bonus features, it not only comes with the Pikachu short, it also doesn't come with the origin of Mewtwo. So that's right, we don't get to see Amber and Dr. Fuji and all those guys in HD. The source of the video, I think it mostly comes from the Japanese Blu-ray release. And honestly, like, the same source was used for a remaster of the movie that aired on Cartoon Network in January of 2014. And honestly, it looks great. Honestly, I think it looks fine. I like how it looks. It looks bright. It looks colorful. It's definitely an improvement over the DVDs. It's like this DVD. Like, though partially, like, that older DVD, like, it was full screen only, so. However, I did notice that this print of the movie that was used, it had a few more specks and scratches on it than the other, like, airings of it did. But I don't know if that's really, like, a big deal. Kind of is for me, but not, like, a huge deal. The opening logo, like the Pokemon the first movie logo, and then, like, Mewtwo Strikes Back, that, I could tell that was taken from the DVD and then just upscaled and cropped to fit a 16:9 ratio. And for some reason, the opening battle, like, between Ash and Raymond, like, the pirate, like, for some reason, the credits are gone. Like, I don't understand why they would do that. To be fair, when it aired on Cartoon Network, there were a bunch of typos in it. Like, there were a bunch of spelling errors on the credits. It's possible that they were planning on fixing them before this release, like, and that they erased all of them for the sake of retyping them in. But for whatever reason, they never got around to doing it. Now, it's a possible explanation, but it's not an excuse. It's also kind of upsetting for me, because, well, I know, again, it's not a huge deal, but this is really the first widescreen release of the movie anywhere outside of Japan since its theatrical release. And the fact that all these years, we've seen the opening battle and the credits, like, only in that 4:3 image. I wanted to know, like, how would it look any different if it was over the wide screen, like, instead of, like, cropped? Like, would the credits be in different placements? Like, because that's what they do with the credits. Like when they crop a movie, they, like, format it differently. But I'm getting off topic. The double Machop error, like, in the older version, like, we see Machop get released from its Pokeball twice, like, that's gone. But that's 4Kids for you. Well, not really. The end credits are retyped, but yet they contain a lot of typos. You guys. For example, the Pokemon theme is performed by Bally Crawford. Not Billy, Bally. And for some reason, the credits for the Pikachu short included with this one, Pikachu's Vacation, are still intact. Why? Oh, and this one, along with the other three, like, they all end with a copyright number saying 2015, showing that these are updated versions. Oh, and the credits for the shorts appearing on this one also applies to the other two. The credits for their respective short films are remaining. On to 2000, it is divided into 14 chapters. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention, the Viz Media logo is tacked on to the end of all three movies. Like, so, like, that second to last chapter, like chapter 15, chapter 13, or chapter 12, like, that's just the Viz Media logo. That, just so you know. The video, it looks fine, but honestly, I think they just took the US print. Like, they just took the US film that Warner Brothers released, and they did remaster it. It does look a little better. Like, at the same time, the colors look a little too bright? I don't know. Like, and it's like a little faded and dull at the same time. This really only applies to the beginning of the movie. It looks better later on, but I can still tell that it's not the Japanese print. The opening and end credits are typed in different fonts, but I'm not sure if there are any typos in these new credits. And any certain notes that I said apply to all three movies still apply. So yeah, the Rescue Adventure credits are still there, for example. On to Pokemon 3. This movie was divided into 13 chapters, although, again, Chapter 12 is just the Viz logo. The little Pikachu Project Presents card that appears at the beginning of it, where the Pokeball appears and, Pikachu Project Present, and then it returns those words into the Pokeball. That remains. That's before the movie. And honestly, I can't really tell the source of this version of the movie. I can't tell if it's the US version or the Japanese version. It's honestly, it definitely looks better. It's actually quite possible that they, alternate between the two prints. The colors are very nice, but there are still specks throughout. The opening logo, it's upscaled, and for some reason it looks rather choppy. It's like they got a low resolution source, a very low resolution. Looks on the original full screen DVD, it moves rather smoothly, when it goes. But the motion of it on the Blu-ray is very it's like it's missing frames. Not really missing frames, but a little slower. If you're watching a video on a very slow computer, and right after that, during that shot where Ash, Misty, and Brock, when they're walking up the steps, there's a very sudden and obvious change between prints. I guess maybe it is confirming my theory that's alternating. The Japanese version, we see them walking, and then boom! Then the colors are all faded, and you could tell that the prints change. It alternates, it changes during the cut. You could tell that they're using different quality prints. This only happens once. I don't recall it happening anywhere else in the movie, but I could tell it happened. The credits may or may not be retyped. They definitely look different, but they're actually, unlike the other movies, which have their credits retyped in newer fonts that represent the Pokemon Company International's usual typing, these credits stay in a Comic Sans font that 4Kids would usually use. During the very last scene where we see Jesse, James, and Meowth poking their heads out a window, and we see all these cop cars driving by, on the original DVD, they were all CGI animated. But here, they're actually traditionally animated. It makes me realize that the CGI cop cars are basically an addition that 4Kids had commissioned for the US release of the film. And honestly, I'm glad that the Pokemon Company International, when remastering it, kept it in. Kept the older version in. I like the 2D animation. I like the slight choppiness. I like traditional animation. I'm not a poo-pooer of CGI, but come on, traditional animation. It's awesome. But seriously, the end credits, they're retyped in a newer font. And they also feature a lot of specks and dust and lots of marks on them. It's like they used a very old print, it was the only source available for some reason. And the end, near the end of that, there's a shot where Ash, Misty, and Rock are walking, and the ground they're walking on moves. In the Japanese version, that was traditionally animated, but the US release had it CG animated, and that keeps the CG. And again, the credits for Pikachu and Pichu are still intact. Why? As a whole, this release is somewhat of a mixed bag. I'm glad that I finally have these movies in widescreen. It's great that they finally have a Region 1 widescreen release. And honestly, I didn't think that they would be released on Blu-ray. But with that, we lose bonus features that the original DVDs, which I have in this triple feature here, that the original DVDs had. These include, among others, commentaries by some of the people at 4Kids, the Pikachu shorts, as I already mentioned, and some bonus featurettes on the soundtracks. However, on the bright side, it's great that they're finally available in widescreen, and I can add it to my collection, along with my Blu-ray of the 4 movies that Miramax held the rights to. Forever, Heroes, Jirachi Wishmaker, and Destiny Deoxys. As of now, the only Pokemon movie that still has yet to be released in widescreen in America on DVD or Blu-ray is Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Hit on that, Viz Media! Please? Anyway, I'm glad I was able to do an unboxing and review of this, and thanks for watching and subscribe! Bye!